Sanders still stands behind Dillon Gabriel for the Browns coaches. Gabriel is ahead of Sanders in the eye of the coaching staff, but rarely in training camp has that position matched what we've seen on the field. The quarterback situation remains the story of camp, and Shedeur Sanders is settling in to lead 3 scoring drives in the most extended action of the summer won't make the team's consistent stance that Sanders is fourth in a line any less.
The Cleveland Browns just did the most Browns thing imaginable, slapping Shedeur Sanders down at fourth on the depth chart, as if nobody would notice. But everybody noticed. Fans are furious, Shannon Sharpe is lighting them up, and the rest of the league is left scratching its head. How does a rookie this polished, poise, vision, NFL-ready mechanics, get treated like a background extra at training camp? This isn't a depth chart decision, it's flat-out disrespect. And Shannon Sharpe isn't just pointing it out, he's tearing into the Browns for squandering legit talent before it even gets a chance to shine.
Oh my goodness, the Browns just released their unofficial depth chart heading into week 2, and Shedeur Sanders is still listed at 4. 14 of 23, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. What else is he supposed to do? They gave him an opportunity, and he showed out. Joe Flacco starting week 1, okay, that's fine. He's a veteran. I understand that. But Kenny Pickett and Dillon Gabriel should not be above Shedeur Sanders. Absolutely not.
If you're enjoying, please subscribe Shedeur Sanders to the channel. It helps more than you think. The Cleveland Browns just made the kind of move that makes you question if their front office actively avoids common sense. A decision so baffling, so tone-deaf, it feels like they're setting the depth chart with a dartboard and blindfold. In a quarterback room already overflowing with uncertainty, they looked at Shedeur Sanders, the most polished rookie on the roster, and somehow concluded, yeah, let's stick him at number 4. Fourth. As in after 1, 2, and 3 other names he's clearly outshining. That math isn't just bad, it's insulting. Instead of rewarding talent, the Browns managed to turn their depth chart into a statement of pure disrespect.
No reasonable person thinks Sanders will be fully ready to lead a team and consistently attack a complicated defense 3 weeks from now. He's shown enough talent and growth, however, to make anyone believe he should be on the team and have a chance to develop into a starting quality player. Sanders is talented. His throw out of the end zone to wide receiver Greg Labardin in the preseason opener, and his floater down the sideline to receiver Luke Floria later are proof. Until we see Sanders get practice reps with the number 1 offense, we can't believe the Browns view him as having much of a shot to be the number 2 when the season begins.
And Shannon Sharpe? He wasn't having it, at all. He didn't just call the Browns out, he torched them. Looking at that absurd QB depth chart, he basically said, what exactly are y'all watching in practice? Because if Shedeur Sanders is really the 4th best quarterback on this roster, then somebody in Cleveland either needs new glasses, or a new job. Sharpe didn't mince words, he lit into the decision with the kind of fire that leaves no wiggle room. This wasn't just wrong, it was embarrassing.
Number 2 role still up for grabs. You guys keep competing for that.
Number 2 role?
Like number 2 is very important.
Oh, honestly, bro, I really don't look into that. I don't care. Whenever it's time for me to get out there and play, I'm going to play. Whenever it's time for the lights to come on, I'm going to do my thing. I'm not concerned about when it is. I'm not concerned about, how many reps I'm getting at this point. Is what it is. Because I know when the lights come on, when everything go on, when the pressure's on, you know who I am. And I'm always be that way.
Let's be clear. Shedeur Sanders didn't come to Cleveland to be buried as a backup's backup. He arrived with a reputation, a relentless work ethic, and a resume that stacks up against any rookie in this draft class. This is the same guy who commanded a college offense with the poise of a 10-year veteran. The same guy who stood tall behind a shaky offensive line and still delivered NFL-level throws with ease. And yet, in Cleveland, he's being treated like a throwaway camp body. Like some practice squad hopeful just grateful for a jersey. 4th string? That's not evaluation, that's flat-out disrespect. For a player of Shedeur's caliber, the idea he's sitting behind 3 less polished quarterbacks is beyond questionable. It's embarrassing.
I agree with what they're saying. But that's my point is, okay, you saying, have we seen enough? Have you seen enough of Dylan? What have you seen from Dylan Gabriel to make you think he can be number 2?
Excuse me, who wrote that?
The Browns Athletic Insider.
The Browns Athletic Insider, right?
Yep.
So you see Shedeur do what he does. 3 quarters of football. I think maybe played well into the 4th quarter, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So in a live game, you saw him play the way he played and still question if he can do the same thing when he has the actual starters at his disposal.
Let's be clear, Shedeur Sanders didn't come to Cleveland to be buried as a backup's backup. He arrived with a reputation, a relentless work ethic, and a resume that stacks up against any rookie in this draft class. This is the same guy who commanded a college offense with the poise of a 10-year veteran. The same guy who stood tall behind a shaky offensive line and still delivered NFL-level throws with ease. And yet, in Cleveland, he's being treated like a throwaway camp body. Like some practice squad hopeful just grateful for a jersey. 4th string? That's not evaluation, that's flat-out disrespect. For a player of Shedeur's caliber, the idea he's sitting behind 3 less polished quarterbacks is beyond questionable. It's embarrassing.
All right, Black and White Sports Reporters. Well, I swear to you, I was not making another Browns video today. I had a New York Giants Jackson Dart video all lined out, had all my ducks in a row, just about to hit record when the Cleveland Browns done went and did this. They have announced their unofficial depth chart, and this is per the ClevelandBrowns.com website, for their 3rd preseason game versus the Rams, and to tell you that the Browns fandom, more specifically the Shedeur Sanders fandom, is crashing out on a new level. And I got to tell you, right now, this QB2 situation is a joke.
And here's the thing, fans aren't buying it either. Cleveland's own fanbase has started to raise eyebrows. Social media lit up with comments like, wait, how is Shedeur behind these guys? And if he's not number 2 at least, we're doing something wrong. One fan even wrote, I've been a Browns fan for 30 years and I've seen this movie before. We ignore the most talented guy until we're 2-6 and desperate. And guess what? They're not wrong. This is a franchise that has turned a potential Olympic sport into a waste of opportunity. It's like they enjoy it. Shannon Sharpe tapped into that same frustration. He knows talent when he sees it, and what he sees in Shedeur is a quarterback with rare intangibles. Not just arm strength or footwork, but leadership, vision, control. This is a kid who doesn't blink under pressure. He doesn't flinch when the pocket collapses. He makes smart decisions, quick reads, and throws darts in tight windows. And for that, the Browns reward him with a seat at the end of the bench. 4th string. That's not just a bad call, it's a crime against football logic.
My thing is, he says no reasonable person thinks Sanders will be fully ready to lead a team and consistently attack a complicated NFL defense 3 weeks from now. What about Dylan Gabriel? Has he shown you enough to make them believe that 3 weeks from now he can lead this team against a complicated defense? I digress even further. Has Kenny Pickett ever shown you that he can lead a team against a complicated?
Let's be honest here. This isn't about Shedeur being unready. It's about a franchise stuck in old habits. Afraid to give the keys to the kid who might actually be better than the veterans they overpaid. It's easier to bury him on the depth chart than to admit that a rookie might already be the most composed quarterback in the room. And Shannon Sharpe, with all the fire of a Hall of Famer who's seen this story too many times, said exactly what needed to be said. Stop disrespecting this young man. Because make no mistake, this isn't just about development. This is about politics. This is about protecting egos, not protecting the football. If this was truly about performance, Shedeur would already be taking second-team reps. He'd be 1 injury away from starting, not 3 mech quarterbacks away from even seeing the field. The Browns are trying to play it safe. But in doing so, they're playing it stupid. Fans have eyes. They saw what Shedeur did at Colorado. They watched him command an offense, rally his team, and make plays under pressure that some NFL starters still can't make. And now they're watching him get buried behind guys who throw more checkdowns than touchdowns. The people aren't fooled. And neither is Shannon Sharpe.
I mentioned it at the very end of my last video that hasn't been out but like 2.5 hours, that it would be, watch it. I said, I think, quote, watch him mess around and put Kenny Pickett as QB2. Well, son of a bitch, I don't know what to tell you guys. But they have put Kenny Pickett as QB2 right there. he hadn't played a snap this preseason at all during a game. Dillon Gabriel is QB3. Shedeur Sanders is QB3.
This is why Shannon went off. Not just because he believes in Shedeur Sanders, but because he's seen this exact injustice before. Talented black quarterbacks being overlooked for no logical reason. Being told to wait their turn while less talented players are handed the playbook. Shannon Sharpe doesn't play that game. He's calling it what it is: mishandling. Mismanagement. A masterclass in wasting a golden opportunity. And you can feel it in every word he says. This kid deserves better. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. He's not just the future. He's already the best option for the present. He's the kind of player who can win you games when everything else is going wrong. He's calm in chaos. He's disciplined, mature, and has a football IQ that's already NFL caliber. And yet the Browns want to pretend like he's a long-term project. That's not just wrong. That's delusional. There's a reason fans are angry. Because they know how this story goes. The Browns will start the season 1-3. The fanbase will demand change. Then, when it's already too late, they'll finally throw Shedeur in, behind a collapsing line, in a desperate situation, and then say, see, he wasn't ready. But he was ready. They just didn't trust him. They didn't believe the tape. They didn't listen to the guy who's been screaming the truth from the beginning, Shannon Sharpe.
Because all I know is that what I keep hearing is what you're telling me what he can't do. Like my coach just said in college, but hey, find something that he can do. See, you keep telling me what Shedeur can't do. Well, your job as a coach is to put players in position and find something that they can do.
Wait a minute, but where's the can't coming from when we just saw him do it? I know it's a small sample size, it's 3/4 of football, but everything you said he can't do, he just did. Matter of fact, he just did what we already saw him do at Jackson State. He just did what we saw him do at Colorado.
And let's be real, Shannon doesn't mince words. He sees a franchise ignoring the obvious, and he's not going to sit there and nod politely. He's going to let them have it. He's going to hold their feet to the fire. Because this isn't about opinions. It's about production. It's about performance. And Shedeur has already proven he's not just good, he's better than what they've got. So why is he still fourth? Why is he standing on the sideline, helmet in hand, while guys ahead of him are throwing picks and missing reads like it's their job? That's the part Shannon Sharpe can't stomach. That's the part fans can't explain. That's the part that turns this whole situation from frustrating to flat-out infuriating. Because when you've got a player like Shedeur Sanders, polished, prepared, poised, and you still refuse to give him the reps he's earned, you're not just mismanaging talent. You're disrespecting the game. You're proving that you care more about protecting status than winning football games. And that, more than anything, is what had Shannon Sharpe going off.
To get back to the Dillon Gabriel. He completed 8 of his first 9 passes, threw a pick 6, bad decision, but was later credited with a fumble on a botched handoff. After the game, he made some very, very interesting comments. He said, there are entertainers and there are competitors, and my job is to compete. He tried to clarify later at the presser, saying he meant the media are the entertainers and a competitor, and he's a competitor, and he wasn't taking a shot at Shedeur, but the damage was done.
And the truth is, he's not done. He's going to keep calling this out. Because this is bigger than one player. This is about every rookie who gets told to wait their turn when their turn should have started yesterday. This is about every young QB who's earned their shot but gets buried under politics and pride. This is about demanding that the best man play, not the most senior, not the most familiar, not the one with the biggest contract, but the best. And right now? The best is Shedeur Sanders. Everyone can see it. Everyone's saying it. Everyone's waiting on the Browns to finally get the memo. But until then, Shannon Sharpe is going to keep turning up the volume. Because this isn't just a bad depth chart, it's a bad look. And the longer Cleveland keeps ignoring it, the louder the firestorm is going to get. And that's where the comedy of errors truly begins, because when you zoom out and look at Cleveland's history with quarterbacks, you realize this is less of a surprise and more of a sad tradition. The Browns treating Shedeur Sanders like a fourth-string throwaway isn't an isolated mistake, it's a pattern. This is the same franchise that's turned quarterback mishandling into an art form.
Over this, you went out in them streets and them streets wasn't hot for you, so now you go back to the old thing. That's what they've done. Instead of looking at Dillon Gabriel and looking at Shedeur Sanders and saying, can one of these young men be our franchise quarterback of the future, knowing that we have 2 first-round picks in 2026? Make sure you know what's in your building before you have to go scout and evaluate those next crop or that next crop of quarterbacks. And so for me, they took the easy way out. But Adam Schefter said it yesterday, right? When we look at the depth chart, who's listed as number 2 is now what's important. Is that Kenny Pickett and you're going to say, okay, now we're going to play with the 2 older guys? Or are you going to be getting either Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders ready to play like Chris?
If you're a QB in Cleveland, your career isn't about progress, it's about survival. You either get wasted, forgotten, or benched before you even get a fair shot. And Shedeur is just the latest victim on a long list of wasted opportunities. Shannon Sharpe knows this history too well. That's why his criticism carries so much fire. He's not just pointing at Shedeur and saying this kid deserves better. He's looking at Cleveland's track record, laughing at the circus, and yelling, "Here we go again." The Browns are like the friend who always swears they've changed but keeps making the same dumb mistake over and over. They'll tell you they've learned, they'll tell you this year is different, but then you look at the depth chart and it's déjà vu. Let's be real. If Shedeur Sanders was drafted to a team with vision, a team that values potential and isn't afraid to let young talent shine, he wouldn't be stuck behind 3 guys who couldn't scare a defense if their life depended on it. He'd already be competing for meaningful reps. Look at how other franchises handle their young quarterbacks. Teams like the Texans didn't waste time handing the reins to C.J. Stroud.
If you look at the stats, you'd clearly see that Shedeur Sanders is already the 4th best QB in Browns team history.
Yup.
He's thrown 0 interceptions, which is a franchise record, and he's lost 0 games, so he's undefeated.
Yup.
So by my ranking, I currently have Shedeur Sanders at number 4 behind Bernie Kosar, Joe Flacco, and Spurgeon Wynn.
Just undeniable statistical analysis there, Tony.
The Colts threw Anthony Richardson into the fire because they believed in him. The Jaguars didn't hide Trevor Lawrence behind placeholders. Those teams said, if we believe you're the future, then prove it now. Meanwhile, the Browns are still fumbling around in the dark, clutching their veterans like security blankets, terrified of change. And fans? They see it. They're tired of being the punchline of the NFL. They've been through Johnny Manziel. They've been through Brady Quinn. And now, when they finally have a rookie with composure, maturity, and actual upside, what do the Browns do? They stick him at 4th. It's not just questionable. It's insulting. One fan put it perfectly online, this team would rather die of stubbornness than admit they're wrong about their veterans. And that's the truth. Cleveland is so obsessed with not rocking the boat that they're sinking the ship. The Browns think playing it safe means keeping Shedeur in bubble wrap. But in reality, they're just choking out the one spark of hope their offense has.
October and November because
Dan, I have a question. Should the work at practice be different than what you normally delegate the practice reps, right? Because a lot of times when you're the two, you don't get a ton of time with the starting offense or the ones. If you have one of these guys listed as second on the depth chart, are you preparing them in a different way than what you normally would?
Yeah, I would slightly, a little bit, yes. I would slightly, but you also, you know, Kevin Stefanski, the head coach, has got to make sure that they're doing everything they can for everybody else to get ready to win the game. This isn't just, hey, we're just focused on the quarterback, so it's a fine balance, but I do think getting those guys reps in preparation for what the plan is, whether they're having decent success or not, should be at the forefront. That's the key.
Shannon Sharpe went off because he understands the weight of this moment. You don't squander quarterbacks who can change the direction of your franchise. You don't sit on talent like that and expect your fanbase to stay patient. Shedeur isn't just another guy, they don't come around every draft. He's polished in ways most rookies aren't. His mechanics are sharp. His pocket presence is calm. His ability to process defenses is advanced. He has it, that rare combination of skill and composure. And yet Cleveland looks at him and says, fourth. And let's not ignore the elephant in the room. If Shedeur Sanders had a different last name, if he wasn't the son of a legend who's already proven himself in the spotlight, maybe the Browns would have more excuses to hide behind. But Shedeur has been living under pressure his entire career. From the moment he stepped onto a college field, he had eyes on him. Critics waiting for him to fail. And what did he do? He thrived. He delivered. He carried teams on his back. He made highlight throws week after week. If he could handle that spotlight, what makes anyone think he can't handle a QB2 role in Cleveland right now?
Gabriel has done nothing. Shedeur Sanders already proved himself. This is absolutely ridiculous. The Shedeur Sanders disrespect makes no sense. I'm scared once Deshaun Watson gets cleared, the Browns are going to go with Watson and Shedeur Sanders is going to ride the bench. Someone please trade for him. This is absolutely ridiculous. It's only a matter of time.
The fans who watched him at Colorado know it. They saw him put up numbers even when he was getting sacked more than any other quarterback in college football. They saw him deliver strikes when his offensive line was collapsing like a wet paper towel. They saw him stay calm, never lose his poise, and always give his team a chance. That's not a QB4. That's a franchise quarterback in the making. And Shannon Sharpe is furious because the Browns are too blind to see it. Let's also talk about the quarterbacks Cleveland is actually prioritizing. Because this isn't happening in a vacuum. This isn't a kid who needs to learn how to throw. This isn't a kid who needs to adjust to pressure. This is a kid who needs live reps to prove what he already knows, he belongs. Instead, the Browns are treating him like an intern, stuck fetching coffee while less capable coworkers get the corner office. And if you think that's not going to wear on a player's confidence, think again. But here's the thing about Shedeur Sanders, he's not the type to break. He's not the type to pout. He's going to take the disrespect, turn it into fuel, and when he finally gets his shot, he's going to make the Browns look foolish for ever doubting him.
Even though it's a small sample size. Uncle, I played the game for a very long time.
Yep.
I played the game for a very long time. I'm a receiver. I know what it's supposed to look like. I know what it looks like when there's a quarterback that's playing in a game and he's confident. He's polished. His pocket presence, his mannerisms. I know what it should look like. We've seen Kenny Pickett with the Steelers. If he was the answer for Cleveland, he would have been the answer in Pittsburgh. No,
what's the question you're asking? Because if Kenny Pickett is the answer, I need to know the question. Did he play for the University of Pittsburgh? Yes.
I don't know what.
That's why Shannon Sharpe is banging the drum so hard, because he knows this isn't just about fairness. This is about setting Shedeur up for success instead of sabotaging him from the start. And let's be honest, the Browns don't exactly have the luxury of wasting time. They're not a franchise sitting on a dynasty roster. They're not a team that can afford to experiment while their veterans run out of gas. They're a team that needs energy, excitement, and a quarterback who can spark the offense. They need Shedeur more than they realize. And the longer they keep him at fourth string, the worse they look. It's not even just about football anymore, it's about optics. Fans already distrust this franchise. Every bad decision just confirms what they already fear, that the Browns are more committed to repeating their mistakes than building a future. So when the depth chart drops and Shedeur is fourth, fans don't just roll their eyes, they lose hope. They feel like they're being lied to all over again,